Hey, and how are you doing? I have seen something on social media that is a very sad situation. I've seen a young person who has killed their father just because they did not have money, they did not have an opportunity, or probably they refused to take them to a school of their choice. And I want to speak to the young people as well as speak to the parents in our generation. It is very important. I think this issue, I am not the judge, but probably the way that it escalated, it has come from somewhere. And it is very important for, number one, for young people to understand parents may not be in a position or in a situation to be able to take you to school. Probably they don't have money. Probably the schools that you have been called, let's say, for example, a C1 school, that they may not be able to afford that at the moment. And that is okay, because economically, a parent can be in a situation where they can't be afford. They cannot be able to afford. And number two, there is also a possibility, probably this parent was a person who was not responsible as far as life is concerned, and probably this young man had seen that this parent of mine is refusing to take me to school. There can be those situations because nobody knows. But also for our young people, it is important for children to understand that parents might be going through things that you cannot be able to explain to you. But the parents, it is important also, when your child is going through grade 8, probably, grade 9, and probably you foresee the situation next year. It's good to start this conversation. You start it early, even as you select schools, let your son understand that, yes, by faith, select that school. By faith, select these schools. And then, why do we have selection number 1, selection number 2, selection number 3? It is so that if situations would force us not to get C1 or to get to C1, you can be able to go to C2 or to C3. And that is why those, I think, 9 or something, or quite a number of schools are selected. And therefore, parents, it is also your responsibility to start very early speaking to your children. Because the problem is that as parents, we sometimes become very bossy, that our will must be done. Let's remember also, we are bringing up a generation that is an informational generation, a generation that can be able to understand, and therefore, because they can understand, have these conversations with them. What kind of schools would you like to go? What would happen if we are not able to pay for this school? Because if you do not have that conversation with your child, it's going, believe me or not, it's going to bring some problem at some point. And therefore, parents, I send my sincere condolences to this family, to this father who was killed by the son. Actually, I think it is less than a week, and this is not something that as people we can just wait. And therefore, parents, I know it's tough. I am a witness. I know sometimes there are no opportunities, there are no money. And when you think, even us who are parenting children in private schools, and our children are still young, we have not taken to high school, and this is a conversation that you need as a parent. I know it's tough, but this conversation, if you do not have this conversation with your children, these children are very wise. The generation Alpha, leave alone the generation Z, leave alone Gen Z. This generation Alpha, they know what they want, and they know what they want. But you have to have a conversation with them and let them understand. Because if you just make your decisions that, yes, I can't afford it, that is it, you have to give a reason. You have to sit down and reason with them. And let me know what you think, parents, because that is my view, that let's start mapema so that we don't get to grade 10 transition and then we don't know what to do. You cannot afford C1 school. As much as your child ameitwa huko C1, you may not be able to afford. What is your view as a parent? But it's very sad. Young people of our generation, young people, our children, please also be in a position to be able to understand, and do not lose hope. And I keep on saying, and I want to say this, and I'll say this in another video, that personally, I did not get an opportunity to go to school immediately. I know it may not happen in this generation, but I had to wait for over 7 years so that I can get an opportunity to go to high school. I went as an adult. I went to adult school, and look at me. Nobody can be able to tell until I tell you that I went to adult school. You may not be able to agree. I went to school as an adult, and therefore you can wait. You can be patient. Just don't lose hope, and have this conversation with your parents on what they are going through and why are they making these decisions. And parents, when the children ask questions, please don't put them off. Please listen to them and have a reasoning spirit with your children. Bring the children in the way they should go, and when they are old, they will not depart from those ways. Proverbs 22 verse 6. This is my opinion, and this is Musa wa Laikipia. Have a good day and God bless.